What's going on, my Zerg brothers? Welcome back to another replay cast. You know this one, ZVZ, not gonna get too many clicks, so if you are enjoying the cast of mirror matchups, make sure to hit that like button, guys. Help me out a little bit. We're watching a very special game here today. We've got Soma in the bottom left-hand corner. We've got Effort in the top left. Effort, who's been making a big comeback recently to the Broodwar scene, is likely to participate in this upcoming ASL along with Soma, who just finished his military service. Going to be preparing for that next ASL as well, competing in a lot of different tournaments online and otherwise. So exciting to see how these two are matching up. I know that Soma's been playing a lot of ladder, as has Effort, though, recently. I think Effort a lot more of a recent player coming back to the ladder. Basically, Soma's just been going hard kind of since he went into the military, still just hitting the ladder all the time, despite not being able to get paid for it. Just the love of the game here, guys, and keeping himself fresh. Opening up with 9 pool gas. And he is probably going to go into a 9 pool speed build. This is some sort of 12 pool, something like that. I didn't catch exactly the drone count that he built this on, but the idea is that you're going to go for a more middle of the road build and have this hatchery up. And this is kind of good against most builds. It's pretty strong against 9 pool, and it's pretty strong against 12 hatch. Either one, you're gonna be kind of, it's like you're not really gonna be ahead against either one. The 12 hatch kind of beats this slightly, but you're gonna have a playable position, and against 9 pool you're gonna be in a pretty strong spot. And since it's 9 pool here, he's gonna have the faster hatchery. He's gonna have the ability to make either speed or layer, and he does go for the speed upgrade here. Looks like speed came second here for Soma, so he's gone for layer first, which will give him a faster mutilus timing. But we could see a spore defense out of, oh, this is big. Gonna catch these lings moving around the outside. Sees the lings hanging around the outside there, and we'll be able to catch on to that. Make sure he's got lings back at home to block this. Coming in, now going to see the hatchery over here at the natural. More lings are being sent out for Soma, but there's definitely going to be an advantage in terms of overall lings here for Effort. Bringing down 2 drones. See, he hasn't really made any more drones since he went into that spawning pool. Once he started making lings there, never going to stop making lings. It's super necessary. In ZVZ at the highest level, you have to keep making lings. It's so difficult to switch back into drones, and it seems like Soma's actually built a few extra drones here. So he's going to be taking a bit of a risk. If you build a few drones here, you're not at full constant ling production, and your opponent just keeps making lings and then has the second hatchery pop up, and then they can just keep making lings, you're going to be in a bit of trouble. You have to fight from the top of this ramp and maybe even build a sunken colony back at home, because he can bust up here. Just takes some time. It is a little bit difficult. This is some good positioning out of Soma, but there's definitely going to be a massive ling advantage if he decides to go for that. Looks like a cancel on a potential sunken colony here, but 6 drones are in production, so that could have been 12 lings, guys. If he busts up this ramp and has 12 lings behind this, even if he loses all the lings here to bust through, he's still going to have enough to get in here and deal a lot of damage. Now, mutas are on the way. Soma's managed to hold on to everything, and there should be an evolution chamber. There it is, evolution chamber, and we are going to see a defensive position here out of Effort. You see, he can't really afford to make the spire just yet. Instead, going to throw down a couple of creep colonies. Does need to keep all of his lings alive here. Because there is a potential, once you build out the first round of mutas, you can then just start pumping lings. And if the opponent is busy building spores and just doesn't have enough ground forces, maybe you manage to snipe enough lings on the ground to take control, then you could just kind of overwhelm with lings, and that's not a good position to be in. You can see even Effort knows that he kind of needs to build some more lings here. He's not totally safe on the ground. And so he will fall back and make a few more lings, get all of these spores up. In fact, 2 spores at each base. That's enough to hold on for now. Not enough to hold on against constant Mutalisk production, though. This is some cute play. Running around with the ling here, preventing that hatchery from going down as long as possible. Yeah, this is just more and more of a delay here for Soma to have to deal with. Here comes the lings to the front. Not sure if he got any kills on this mineral line here. You can see he's hovering overlords over top of the drones at this patch. That is a very sneaky play to make sure that it's not easy to just come in and gun down a couple of drones. Look at this. He's not able to do it. He gets one, but that's only because the overlord moved. If he has those on hold position, very difficult to get those snipes off, and he should have those on hold position now. Spire on the way here. In the main, of course, he can't get this gas until he gets this next spore up. So he's going to go ahead and get that spore going, and then eventually he will get into that gas geyser. Only 4 mutas here at the front from Soma, so he's not done that constant Mutalisk production. It takes about 7 mutas to chunk through a spore without losing anything. So that's kind of the number. That's the magic number where you get 7 mutas. You hit, like, for example, this spore right here outside of range of the second spore, and then you pull out the muta that's injured, the one that's being targeted initially. Only 5 mutas, that's not going to be enough. He's going to end up losing multiple mutas if he wants to try and break that, and that's just not going to be beneficial for him. So he will just sort of sit back here. It looks like he went for a drone, got 1 kill, but flying through the... Oh gosh, Soma making a big mistake there, flying through the spores. He's kind of panicking right now because there's a lot of lings heading towards his base. He is going to come in here and start to fight at the natural, but these lings in the main could do a lot of damage. Okay, they're not being paid attention to. Effort is worried about his attack back home, and this is just too much, a little bit too much multitasking on either side. Both players having a hard time getting the job done. 1 drone goes down there. Muta's starting to pop out here. It's a moment of transition that can be exploited. Right as the first few mutas start to pop out, that's when you're going to be kind of at your weakest as the Zerg player, especially as the defender here with the spore defense. Now, chasing down some mutas. Natural base is up now. Not really mining his natural gas here is effort. He's a little bit low in terms of his overall drone count. It's been limited a bit, but he's got 17. He's got 6 more drones than effort, or than Soma here, excuse me. Soma has the advantage of having a few extra mutas. Pokes in, gets a kill. He's evening out that score a little bit. 16 to 14 now. Ling looking for some kills. Looks like he got 2 kills, probably on a Ling during an earlier fight. I doubt that's on 2 drones. Oh gosh, having a hard time killing that. Sometimes it can be really difficult. Good moves there from Soma, or from effort, to just buy more time before all of these mutas are brought together. That's 11 mutas, so that's quite a scary number. I'm ahead and killing off a muta or 2 before the full engagement happens. Oh, does eat a hit from the Scourge there. Spore's gonna come in handy though. Nice defensive position. And there's the second gas finally being taken here. Ling running by. 2 lings, in fact, are going to really mess up the mining here for Soma. These little moves like that, although they don't seem like a huge deal, doesn't kill any drones, but just messing up the mining for a little bit makes such a big difference in this matchup. Looks like he's mining with 4 drones here on the gas. Maybe that spore colony just slowing things down ever so slightly. Gas is such an important resource in this matchup. It's sometimes worth it to just utilize an extra drone on the gas geyser to eke out just that tiny bit of extra gas that you otherwise would have lost. 8 mutas there. 7 mutas on the defense, 8 mutas now. He's got to be very careful. This is the point now where the number of mutas for Soma is not much bigger than, in fact, might even be smaller. Oh gosh, and 2 lings run by again. Get another kill on a couple of drones this time. 2 drones going down in this natural. Again, slowing down the gas guys. These counterattacks are tearing Soma apart, and every time they get in, his position is becoming worse and worse and worse. And in fact, the Flyer Carapace upgrade is going to be finished before Soma, so he's getting ahead on so many different fronts. Usually the player who opts for the faster Spire will end up getting those upgrades quicker. But in this case, Effort is getting ahead here. He's managing to hold this advantage. He's got to be careful. Okay, Scourge come in. Effort goes in, gets 1 kill on a drone. He's now evened out the drone count. And having those Scourge there means that he can't get chased micro to oblivion. He's going to be able to back up here. Ling's coming in for another counter stab. This time going to be dealt with efficiently. Getting rid of those right away. As this starts to even out, we can start to tally the advantages on either side. Most of the advantages are really going to Effort right now, killing off an Overlord there. He didn't really have a choice. He was hoping for a Muta to pop out to snipe, but going after the Overlord is the second best thing. Quite a lot of Scourge here, but with the triple Spore and even Mutalisk count, it's not a very good idea to try and engage this, and Effort's actually taking a better fight here, controlling a little bit stronger than Soma somehow. Yeah, look at this. He hasn't lost a Muta yet in this stack, but he's killed off a couple of Soma's Mutas, and no Scourge were able to connect there. The Spores are a bit of an advantage. The upgrade is an advantage. I think the Muta number overall, if we can take a look at that, that's 11. And we've got 6 here, so 17 Mutas. 4 back at home, 5. And here's, what, 10 Mutas? So 15. Small advantage to Effort in that regard, but more Mutas are coming out. In fact, more of them have that high HP as well, so are ready for combat. Very few are ready for combat here for Soma. He's got to be very careful with those. Make sure that he doesn't get chased down. Let's get a couple of connections there. That's very good. Getting a couple of those kills with just a 2 or 3 Scourge killing off a Muta. You can see the injured Mutas here back on defensive duty at home. Can be really strong to send some Scourge out around the map and then go try to pick off these Mutas 1 for 1. Because those are probably not going to be controlled at this point. Effort here, focusing on the defense. He knows he has a bit of an advantage right now. Just wants to maximize this overall drone count and try to gun down these Mutas if he can. He's going to get on the chase. Now these Mutas are stuck out on the map. Looks like he's going to bring everything together. Soma knows there's a possibility that he gets completely trapped and locked down here. Can't really get the escape vector on these Mutas. He's going to fly directly through. Let's see if he can get some big Scourge connections. 1 Scourge connection, 2, 3 Scourge connections go down. Some pretty good Scourge hits overall for Soma. Is it going to be enough to turn the tide? It really seems like there's not enough Mutas here on the side of Soma, and the chase micro is looking good. Gonna run these guys down. Way too many Mutas here for Effort, and this might be GG. We've got a bunch of Scourge flying in, though. Can he get some big connections? Whoa, those are some great connections. Killing off quite a few Mutas. Oh, another Muta goes down there at the end. So really not getting the best anti-Scourge micro going. Effort loses a few extra Scourge, or loses a few extra Mutas. Oh, another couple of good engages there. Very hard to ever hit these Mutas of a pro player. Even at B rank, A rank, players get pretty good at defending against that. You really have to look for opportunities where they're not paying attention. They don't have their camera over their Mutas so that you can get some of those hits. But looks like flying here into the main base is a great move. A stab into the natural with Lings, and then a dive into the main with Mutas. This is going to drop that drone count by quite a bit here. At the moment, when Soma is just trying to put together his defenses again, more Lings just kind of streaming in here. Gonna send some of those over to the side. The third base is up. If Soma can hold on to that third, he might be able to stabilize the situation, but I don't really see a reason why Effort wouldn't pull the trigger and just going across the map and trying to kill him here. Second armor upgrade is going to finish. on the side of Soma. So Effort went for +1 attack along with +1 armor. It's a bit of a cheaper upgrade, but it doesn't do quite as well in the Muta on Muta fight. It doesn't help out quite as much. The more expensive upgrade, the more impactful upgrade, +2 armor is done. And so we'll see how this next engagement goes. How many mutas here? 11, and I think there's much more than 11 here, but the engagement with the Scourge is pretty darn good, and the mutas here are going to take a formidable fight against the mutas of Effort. Effort is getting picked off one by one. He's barely got more mutas here. If a few more Scourge come up, okay, a few more mutas coming to the front here, even with those great Scourge connections, looks like Soma not going to be able to hold that. Counterattack of Lings does a little bit here. Hatchery is going lower and lower. Here comes the Scourge. Can he get these last connections? Shove everything back. Oh my god, 71 HP on that is crazy. Lings make their way into the main. They get a couple more kills here. Still a huge overall worker advantage for Effort. And he's got his third gas up and mining now. Looks like a few drones could be getting transferred over here to get that online for Soma as well. He's relying primarily on Scourge. Oh, the Lings! He can't leave the space. Okay, there we go. Does bring back the mutas. That was a really scary moment. Those Lings can deal that 100 damage very quickly and just pick off that hatchery. And so he does manage to keep that alive for now. Lings coming down here. We'll be able to pull everything back. Combining this with an attack over towards that third base might be the ticket here for Effort. There it is. He gets it. Scourge were not in position. No need to pull back the Scourge to deal with the Ling attack that was coming into the natural. So I'm not sure exactly why Soma did that, but he's controlling all of his army together. He's going to head all the way up here to the third base of Effort, and this could get a little bit nasty. Mutas are going to be running away, and the Scourge are going to try to intercept. Let's see what he can do with all of these Scourge. He's got way more Scourge than Effort. Definitely less Mutalist, though. Looks like he did manage to kill off pretty much every Scourge of Effort without really losing much. Maybe taking one hit from one of those Scourge. Now coming forward here with the Scourge and Mutas. That's so many Mutas for Effort. I don't know if he's going to be able to get the connections that he needs. Some very good connections there for Soma. Oh my goodness. Huge connections are actually keeping Soma in this game. It's kind of unbelievable, but he is still alive for now, at least. Eventually, I feel like Effort will get himself together and just micro against these Scourge properly and eventually take them all out and finally take a good fight. But so far, Soma has been doing a great job of staying in this game. He still doesn't have a third gas, though, and the Mutalist number is going to grow like crazy. One thing you can do is, even if your opponent is getting a third base online and you're not able to hold your third, you can go into Hive and get into Devours, and sometimes you can still take a fight, even if the opponent has more than you with that tech advantage. Big fight over here. Big Scourge connections as well, dude. So many huge Scourge connections, but the mutas are going to be forfeit here. Okay, more Scourge come through. Maybe he can take some more hits on these mutas, but Effort's just not going for it. He's not falling back. He lets the Scourge hit, knowing that he'll still have enough mutas to overwhelm the small muta number of Soma, pushing him all the way back. Ling's coming forward here. There's just too many mutas, man. Way too many mutas. Ling's run in. Gonna go ahead and get a couple of drone kills here and there, pulling Effort left and right. But unless he kills the hatchery right now, I just don't see how he's going to be able to do this. 1,000 minerals, or 1,000 gas in the bank, which is even more impactful than 1,000 minerals in the bank. 1,000 gas, you can do a lot with. You can see here a bunch of spores are being built right now for Soma. He's gonna have to come down here, probably build like 3 or 4 spores as well, because the counterattack potential is just too strong for Effort. There are so many mutas. If he goes to any one of these bases, he should be able to overwhelm it, unless there's like 3 or 4 spore colonies. And the only way for Soma to get back into this is he needs a ton of spores just to get this third gas online and then slowly start to bring things back. There's no way to just get this quickly online and, you know, just switch into mutalist production and then, you know, bring it back immediately afterwards. He needs to batten down the hatches and survive what could be a devastating attack from Effort. 900 gas. Effort having a very hard time spending all of his gas now. Needs to pump up some of this drone number, get a bunch more drones on the way. 30 drones apiece on either side. Ling counterattacks are going to be his best friend right now. Soma's best friend at dealing with these things. Coming with some mutas. Unfortunately, going to lose a bunch of those. And the Lings are going to get in here. And they get a few kills on some drones. All right, he will get about 3-4 drone kills. Not bad at all. This actually does matter because, as you can see, he just doesn't have the money to spend everything. But no, Soma taps out. Not enough damage. He knows he's about to get overwhelmed. You can see here, he also lost some drones back and home. Looks like a 3-kill Zergling gets into his main base. If everything went perfectly, then Soma was able to defend all these bases with pure Spore. And just some Mutas and Scourge. I mean, maybe there's a chance he could potentially come back, but it was still a long shot with the extra damage being done by these Lings and all the counter-attacking that he was doing there. Getting mopped up. There wasn't really much of a hope. I think one of the things you kind of have to do as a Zerg in a position like this is you build all the spores, build all the defenses, and then pool Lings somewhere out on the map. Pull the Lings out there, and then when finally the enemy decides, okay, now is the time to attack, you defend all the mutas. Like, all the mutas get brought forward, probably all Lings too, get brought forward to one of these bases. You defend with Scourge and mutas, and then you counterattack with Lings. And so you just get in there, get as much damage done as you can while one of your bases is going down. One of your bases likely is going to fall. With just 3 spores and a massive chunk of mutas, you know, probably more than 24 mutas coming after one of these bases, it's just not going to be an easy defense. And if you can, like, if he comes in and then he kind of waffles, sends some stuff back to go ahead and block that Ling counter, then maybe you can hold that base. If he just goes for it, then you got to do enough damage to make it worth it. You got to do enough damage to where the economy is that rattled that you can kind of rebuild on just 2 bases. Still, Soma played a great game. He did some excellent micro with his Scourge. I was hoping we were going to go all the way to Hive this game, but unfortunately not, guys. Just the one single ZVZ here today between Effort and Soma. Hope you enjoyed it. Again, give it a like. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. And of course, thank you to all the Patreon support if you can, guys. I really do appreciate it. It helps me to continue making this content for you. Even though, and some of these kind of, these more out there games like ZVZ, not a lot of people are going to click on these videos. So it really does help if you guys support directly. I can make TVT, PvP, ZVZ, and not really worry about not getting enough views on that. So thank you so much. That's it for today, and I'll see you in the next one.